Okay, welcome to this. I guess we'll just put it final week of October or end of October weather report as we go over the weather today and for the rest of this month. You can see we did have some clouds, some spotty clouds around today, some mid-level clouds mainly. You can see on the satellite passing through. This is sort of like what they looked like. We actually had some precipitation coming from these mid-level clouds that wasn't reaching the ground. Uh, but you can see some altocumulus there, castellanus, right there. And yeah, I got a video for you at Massapequa Preserve of some of the full colors. And yeah, so we did have some more clouds, not the clear sky that we had yesterday. Looking at the MODIS here, which we don't seem to have, so I guess we're gonna scrap that because we don't have any MODIS data for today. So you can see big high pressures under control. Got this front here that is, and there's some really cold air in the northwest where they're actually seeing snow. If we look at the radar here, you'll see some thunderstorms over in Wisconsin. But look at that. Snow in the higher elevations and even other parts of Montana, finally. So they're getting some really cold air over there for sure. So let's first go over today's weather statistics here for you. And you can see winter storm warnings, winter storm watches, and all that stuff over there. So let's go over here where we have the winds at south right now, so 55 degrees. At Islip, dew point is up to 52 because of that south wind, so you're feeling a little more moisture in the air. Earlier today, we had dew points in the 40s, temperatures close to seasonal norms. And you can see overnight it got down pretty chilly, 39. Yeah, it was cold, and it was not easy to sleep when you're out heating here. It was like 63 to 65 in here. It's amazing I was able to keep it that warm. But anyway, let's look at our highs and lows for the day. We'll first start with the lows, which I'm sure are going to be impressive. West Hampton got down to 34. Everybody else was 36, though, in Old Brookville. That can be a cold spot, too. Everybody else was in the around the 40-degree mark, except the city, where it's low around 50, but it was pretty chilly here in Mineola. And let's see what we got down there. We do have a below-freezing low, and that is at Miller Air Park, west of Toms River. That was the cold spot, 30 degrees. 30 degrees. That is pretty chilly. Pretty chilly. Our highs generally low to mid 60s, close to normal. City looked like they were a little more in the mid to upper 60s, and look at that, near 70 in Toms River. So they went from literally Miller Air Park went from 30 degrees in the morning to 70 degrees during the day today. It's a true desert over there. If you don't know what it's like, well, it's a true desert. So it really cools down quite a bit there, but it warms up during the day, so that's quite a range in temperatures, 30 to 70 degrees. That's pretty remarkable, actually. So let's go take a look at our statistics for the day. So Islip, high of 63. We were actually 2 degrees above normal on the high, but the low of 40 was 4 degrees below normal, so we wound up being a degree below normal. Central Park, 1 degree above normal, high of 64, low of 47. So, yeah, it's amazing how cold it got over there. I'll tell you, it really is amazing how cold it got. But, it's, when you look at the kind of area that you have over there, we'll just go to maps. You'll see why it gets so cold over there. So Miller Air Park is located right here. So it's similar to West Hampton. It's just in a really desert-like area over here. And if you look here, you'll see very desert-like. You have a lot of desert areas over here. Just go over here. I'll show you. You can see it's nothing but pines over here. Am I in the right spot? Yeah. This is on the heart of the Pine Barrens here in New Jersey. So yeah, it gets very cold. So anyway, that's a cold spot, and they beat West Hampton. So beat West Hampton fair and square today. So let's go to the tropics. Talk about Tammy here. Hurricane Tammy, 75-mile-an-hour winds. Minimum sunshine pressure 987 millibars, 24.6 north. 61.7 west, moving northeast at 8 miles an hour. And unfortunately, let's take a look at what Tammy looks like on the satellite. And there's Tammy right now. Looks like it's starting to undergo that intensification that they've been talking about now that it's over the warmer waters. This is actually going to intensify into possibly a major hurricane. If we look at the forecast, they just have it being a hurricane, but I don't know. I wouldn't rule out becoming a major hurricane. And then it makes a left-hand turn into Bermuda, as a post-tropical storm. I don't know why they're going to call it post-tropical. That's still in the tropics, but whatever. So we're going to go to tropical tidbits right now and actually talk about Tammy for a little bit. And again, this is Tammy here, and you can see rapid intensification now. That's definitely undergoing some intensification. So looking at the tracks on the models here, these are you can see they all take it toward the left. It's a very unusual setup over in there, and then some of them take it actually. They have it going and then redeveloping and then hitting Florida, or maybe even the Bahamas. One model has it going on, so we're going to get into this when we get into the forecast. It's quite unusual, to say the least. And here's the GFS ensembles. I think I showed you that already. Or maybe I didn't. Intensity guide. So some of them take it up to a Cat 2, but I don't know. Seeing that convection like that, I wouldn't rule out a Cat 3. I think there's a possibility it could become a Category 3, even though nobody else is saying that, because you just can't underestimate those warm sea surface temperatures. If we look at your SST anomaly chart here, and we look at the area that where Tammy is over, you'll see that you still have above normal temperatures. Not way above, though. Not way above. We still way above around Greenland. That's disturbing right there. That's really disturbing. So, and just go to Vent2Sky for a minute, kind of visualize the temperatures across the country. And we'll take this to 4 o'clock. Kind of show you, this is the warm air that we will have toward the end of the week. And this is the cold air. Look at that, below freezing parts of Montana. See, Western Canada really got some cold air there. Luckily, that's helping put those fires out. Look at that. Some of these areas in the Northwest Territories down into single digits already. So it looks like the cold air has moved into Canada, at least the western part. Eastern part, not quite as much. But you can see where that warmer air is coming from as we're going to head into this week. So let's go to because we didn't have time last time to do this properly. There was just so much other stuff that I had to work on that night. So I do owe you at least a decent weather report for the end of this month, because we didn't do it Sunday night. So let's go to the upper air on the GFS. And you'll see there's your trough in the west. Get that ridge in the east. That's going to mean warmer weather. And you can see there's not really much wind where Tammy is, and that's what's making it tricky. So you can see there's that trough in the west. It continues. The trough in the west continues, and then it eventually starts moving east, and that's going to bring in a cooler weather. And then Tammy retrogrades here. So you watch Tammy here retrograding, and it could become something again. You can see it's got a closed-off circulation there around Florida. All right. As far as us goes, we have that cold air, but then it looks like we see we have alternating ridges. This is going into November now, so I'm more focused on toward the end of this month. Let's go to the 12Z run of the GFS. I'm curious as to see what it does with Tammy. It kind of just loses it. Yeah. That develops it again. You see what it does? Very strange. Very strange. Let's go to the European now, the 12Z run of the European. See if we can spot any differences here. See, there's that ridge again. So that ridge, yeah, the European is a little slower, and not surprisingly, much slower and more amplified with, what does it do with Tammy? Kind of just loses it. Maybe picks it up on this front here, but it's definitely slower, the Euro. I wouldn't bring the front through until around Halloween or afterwards. All right, so there's definitely a difference between the two. All right, so let's go to the surface map here. We looked at, actually, we got to look at the upper air, too. So we'll go to the upper air on the European first. So there. All right, so you see that big ridge. There's Tammy. So it's kind of stuck. There is a big ridge over here, so it can't really move north. And then here comes the trough again. So here comes the trough again. There's definitely going to be a big trough coming through at the end of the month into November. That's going to bring in colder air. Now, GFS. This is the GFS here. So you see GFS is a little flatter and a little quicker with that trough. Then it kind of bounces a ridge back again. So that's what it looks like on the GFS. So let's move this a little closer to the CONUS view, and we'll go over and look at our temperature anomaly chart on the GFS. So here's your temperature anomaly chart. You can see way above normal here this week. We could have record highs Friday and Saturday. Look at that bright pink. Yeah, 80 degrees is possible. That's right. We have a front that's going to eventually slowly move through Sunday, and then Monday. You can see, look at that. Cold air shoots right into Texas. So they're going to have some really cold weather in Texas before it gets cold here. I'm curious as to what those actual air temperatures are in Texas. 30s for highs. My gosh, that's incredible. That is truly incredible. So can have that, and then that shifts east. And you can see here, shifting east. But we don't really get into the really below normal temperatures. We do have below normal anomalies, but it won't be anything earth-shattering. And then we see the warmth kind of build back again after that shot of cold air. Now, if we look at the European model, Euro is slower. You can see that's a little slower getting that front through. Has way above normal conditions even on Monday. And then it brings the colder air actually in a little more into the east on Wednesday or Thursday. So the troughs and the ridges are shaped differently, and that's going to have an effect on next week. And right now we just can't tell you exactly what's going to happen with that. But just be prepared. There will be a cool down after this anomalous heat that we're having. So you can see there's that big ridge in the east. And see there's Tammy off to the side there. And then as we get into you notice nicely, finally no rain this weekend. The ridge stays in place. And here we are on the 30th. The front still hasn't come through yet. This could be, I see a V in the isobars, so the European is suggesting possibly we may have a severe weather event with this front coming through because it will be strong. And then maybe a few showers on the morning of Halloween, then better for the evening. And then here's this big high that moves in, bringing the colder air behind it. Now, GFS is a different look to it. So everything looks the same until you get toward here. And the GFS brings Tammy westward. Here we go, bringing it westward and kind of bringing the circulation somewhere into Florida and then kind of just dissipating it. Meanwhile, looking over the east, you see the high has got a much flatter look to it than the European, which is a sharper trough. And then we get that ridge to form again. All right. Let's look at the 12Z run of the GFS. This is the one that kind of had Tammy. What does it do with Tammy? It kind of. All right, no, there was one run that showed Tammy. Yeah, that's it right there. Look at the bottom of your screen there. A very powerful. This is it's gone to the next run, so it's probably not going to happen. All right, but still, you just don't know. You have to expect the unexpected. So. Let's go into the Northeast here, and we will look at the HRRR model to start. And another thing I wanted to bring up also in this weather update as well, if we go to the radar, and like I said, if you didn't believe me that there was precipitation coming from those mid-level clouds earlier, well, there was, because if we go back to 2 o'clock, let's see, we did the radar rewind here. Oh, no, it's not the radar. Radar. Yeah, radar. 4 o'clock. You'll see there was actually a few little sprinkles that it wasn't reaching the ground. Actually, it's not even showing up on this radar, but there was a few. So you could see like some interesting clouds in this. Like I said, this is what we had over here. It was very interesting. There's Virga here coming from the cloud here. You could see Mid-level cloud there with Virga. Pretty impressive. So, wasn't expecting that. But either way, we're dry. No rain for us. There is some shower activity that stays upstate, well north and west of our area. Obviously, the ridge is going to keep that away from us. Dew points and wind flow. See, we got that west-southwest wind setting up. So tomorrow you'll see that the dew points, we generally keep the dew points in the mid to upper 40s to low 50s. West-southwest wind. Probably sea breeze on the south shore to keep things a little cooler. Thursday, we get a little more of a westerly flow. So that's going to probably cause the temperatures to go higher. So looking at the HRRR, you'll see tonight we'll probably have some radiational cooling, not like last night, probably 40s for most sites, mid-40s, mid to upper 40s to maybe around 15. Tomorrow, we are warmer already, so we're going to be near 70 in New Jersey, upper 60s here. Tomorrow night, probably still have radiational cooling and drop back into the 50s in the cooler areas. And then here we are for Thursday, heating up, yes, breaking the 70-degree mark, low 70s for a lot of locations. So if we go to the GFS here, move this along and look at our dew points and wind flow as well on this. You see there's that more westerly flow on Thursday already. That could limit the sea breeze. If we don't have it Thursday, we're definitely going to have it Friday with more of that westerly flow you see right there. And then especially Saturday, look at that. We're almost a due west wind. Saturday is going to feel like summer with that west wind there. And getting a little moist too, as you see here. Here comes this front that's going to kind of get hung up on Sunday, but it may just bring clouds, not much rain. And then here comes the cooler air for Monday. The cooler air, and there's some really cold air there that's in there. All right, so looking at our air temperatures here. So 70s Thursday, not going to drop much back at night. Now we're mid-70s for Friday. And then Saturday, upper 70s to around 80. It's going to feel like summer. We're going to break some records. And then we have this front coming through Sunday. It's going to kind of hang up. And then Monday, here we are, 50s. And we're going to struggle to reach the 50s, mid-50s for highs on Tuesday. Same thing for Wednesday and Thursday. So next week's going to be once we get into November, it's going to be much colder. It's going to definitely feel like autumn for sure. After that little Indian summer, I guess we're going to have Indian summer. Usually you always get that around this time of the year. So let's go to the European model. And the 12 is the European model because we want to look at the temperatures on the European. All right. Yeah, look at that. Saturday, you can see that 70s, upper 70s. The European, though, has it lingering into Sunday. You can see that, some of the things. And then look at that. European is Monday, it being again at 80 or better. So we could definitely breaking some records, which is unusual. Could be quite warm. The European seems to suggest that. However, I don't know if I'm buying into the European at all. As far as rainfall goes, we can look at total accumulated precip. Not a whole lot going on, or at least for once we get a break from the rain. Look at the GFS here. Not really showing a lot of rain either, which is good. So finally, we've had so much rain in October and September. Finally, we get a break, and we don't have to deal with any rain, which is good because the leaves are changing. We don't need any rain to mess that up. So let's go to the skies next, because going into back this up to tomorrow. So we'll have a lot more high clouds around tomorrow. Thursday as well, we'll be having the high clouds. Friday, probably as well. Saturday, maybe a little less of it. Sunday, and then we have the cloud Sunday and Monday from the front. The front pushes south on Halloween, so skies will clear later on in the day. And then by Wednesday, we should have mostly sunny skies again for your first day of November. So let's look at the RGM. All right, because we all know the GFS, the regular GFS definitely looks overblown on the clouds, and it probably is. So tomorrow, you'll see here, you'll have that cirrus around, mostly cirrus level clouds probably. We'll look at some, we'll actually look at the soundings in a moment. But you'll see Thursday, there's those cirrus clouds. Again, we'll have a lot of them around on Thursday as well. Friday, starting off with a lot of them, but then less later on in the day. That's as far as we got on the RGM right now. But we can actually go back to the HRRR, and we can look at the 0Z run of the HRRR and take a look at some of these soundings. I'll just use the GFS already. So these are the soundings here. And you'll see, yeah, you have a lot of moisture, 300 to the mid-levels right here. All right, so that's going to mean a lot of high clouds around mainly. So filtered sunshine tomorrow is the word. Probably a pretty junky-looking sky. Thursday, we're going to have more mid-level clouds in the mix, and maybe there's going to be a decent amount of clouds around on Thursday, too. It's Friday that we'll get rid of some of the clouds. I think we'll start seeing, yeah, they're further apart. So Friday we'll start seeing more clearer skies, again, more blue skies. So the next couple of days definitely going to be a little on the junky side, I think. But less so on Friday and Saturday, probably. Look at Saturday as well. Yeah, it looks better for Saturday. So, Climate Prediction Center. Let's go to this. We're going to review this here. 6 to 10 day outlook. Look at that. Very below normal in the Midwest there. So that's that really cold air outbreak. And below normal precipitation. 8 to 14 day with that below normal shifts east and above normal in the west. And near normal precipitation levels. But yeah, there's going to be some really cold weather coming to the Midwest. It'll be a really real cold snap, and we're going to get a taste of it. There won't be a direct shot at our area, but we'll definitely get a taste of it. And so Leslie, let's talk about the Arctic melt season. All right, a few days after the annual Arctic sea ice minimum extent was reached on September 19th, the sun set at the North Pole, aiding sea ice growth. The Arctic sea ice has grown at a fairly slow pace, leading to the fifth lowest September in the 45 passive microwave satellite record. Antarctic sea ice extent has had an uptick in growth, but remains at record low levels for this time of year. So this is not a good situation. Obviously, your sea ice is low. Let's go to the Arctic sea ice chart here. And you'll see here, this is the sea ice extent, and you can see what's the line for 2023. Here it is. So we're kind of well below the median here, but not a record low. So I guess that's some good news, but it's only going to get worse, as we know. So that's going to wrap up this weather. I forgot the name of it. Usually I call them weather updates, but I've changed it to weather outlook. No, not weather outlook. Whatever. I forgot. Anyway, have a good night.